Hello, everyone. This is Alice of Ascension Crystals of the One True Heart. You may also know me from Ascension to Love, that Facebook page and YouTube channel. But I'm here today to talk about crystals and how to connect and work with crystals. This was a video that was requested from a wonderful client and friend. So thank you so much for the request. I look forward very much to giving a very gentle and brief overview as to how to connect with the crystals that you are receiving. So, the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to utilize a few of the crystals in the Atlantean collection that I launched with, just because I have a few of these left. So, crystals, of course, you'll have heard of different types of crystals. This is a crystal quartz. It's in the shape of a skull. Now, the type of material that it is, so whether it's quartz, for example, or opal, or if it's a tektite, a meteorite, they all carry different frequencies. They carry different colors. They connect with different versions of you, is a really good way of phrasing that. They have their own consciousness. So if you look at crystals and instead of looking at it as though it's a possession or something that's shiny and pretty, look at it as a friend, look at it as a family member, and look at yourself as though you are a guardian of this crystal who has chosen to come and work with you, be with you, connect with you. Each crystal has archetypal characteristics, depends on what it is. And then the shape that it's formed into also has certain qualities as well. So, for example, crystal skulls are incredible wisdom keepers. They reflect Atlantean wisdom and before Atlantis, even. They hold the Akashic records, the halls of Amenti. They essentially are able to channel and connect any being that you choose, or even that the crystal is either already pre-programmed to or has an affinity to. Now, we'll get onto that in just a little moment, but the shape of this one is a crystal skull. And when it's in a particular shape, it's going to hold a certain set of qualities. So a skull, for example, holds a lot of wisdom. It holds that incredible omniscience. But some of you may find that there is just a tumblestone that you're drawn to. Now, this is a piece of natural citrine. So citrine can be created, man-made, by heating up amethyst, by heating up quartz crystals, and they can manufacture citrine almost. It still has the properties, but a natural version is where the earth has done it itself. The elements have made that shift in the structure, in the crystalline structure. So you may find that there are certain natural crystals that you're really drawn to, or there may be some that are a little bit more assisted by humankind, such as goldstone, blue goldstone, or opalite, sorry, not opal, opalite. I don't have any of those here on the desk right now, but it's interesting because they still carry different frequencies. Now, crystals are, once again, they're conscious. So they have their own purpose, their own mission here. Yes, they often come from the earth, unless it comes from outer space, of course, but it often comes from the earth. And a good way to feel as to whether or not it's a crystal that you want to be a custodian of or a guardian of is to essentially ask it, to connect it with your heart and ask it. Because I know there are some that are concerned about perhaps the mining or how crystals are discovered. The crystal itself will tell you by how it feels to you. It will tell you whether it is given permission. And all the crystals, in my perspective, all the crystals that are here, that are available to humans, they are in service. They've chosen that in their life path. Let's carry on just for a moment on the shapes, and then we'll go into different crystals. Then we'll go into how to connect with them. So another very popular shape is a point. So this is fluorite. This is also fluorite. Look, they're both different colors, but they both come from the same crystal family. It's the same physical composition. But this one's lilac in color, but it's shaped in a point. Now, points are really incredible for focusing intention. for helping focus yourself, for helping channel energy. That's why when oftentimes we use things like crystal wands, healers might use that to perform psychic surgery. You may work with a crystal point or a crystal wand to help you heal your own body, to help you think clearly, to help direct an intention, to create reality, to cut through something, even cut through a reality you no longer wish for. For example, this is an amethyst wand. Very beautiful. It's AAA grade amethyst, natural and raw. And you can only imagine how big the actual geode must have been for one of these points to come from it. But what's really nice here is healers love working with these because you can direct your energy, you can direct your heart light. You can literally, by holding it, can meditate with it in your heart. You can turn crystals, you can connect them to your heart even. If you're healing yourself, if you're working on yourself, you can turn a crystal and actually feel it turning an energy point within you, turning energy and helping it flow, helping unblock chi if you've got chi stagnation in any of your organs or any of your meridians. Some crystals, especially the ones that I personally find to work with and to bring through to help get to you, they're always very high grade. I tend to not go for the more opaque. I tend to go for the clearer cut of crystal. That's not to say some crystals aren't clear. For example, shungite, right, obviously is opaque. You can't see through it, but the quality that I personally go for, I usually tend to go for a little bit higher quality or the highest I can find so that it's the clearest, because most people who buy from me are healers, are channels, they're light workers, way showers, and the energy can be more, have more velocity, have more impact when you're working with them. But some crystals, such as this one, you can see they have inside, I wonder if the camera will pick it up, it may not do, but it has its own inner landscaping. The camera perhaps isn't picking it up all that well here, but within the crystal there is shards of it going this way and that way, and you can scry in the crystal, you can look into the crystal and you can see rainbow hues. You can see wonderful different things here. When you hold a crystal, when you just want to feel the energy of it, if you allow yourself just to center your breath, center your heart space, and just hold the crystal, whether it's down at your lap, and just feel the resonance of it. You can hold it to your heart and see how your heart responds. Most of us are clairsentient first and foremost. We feel things before we hear them or see them or know what they're saying. So if you are at the stage where you're very clairsentient and you feel more than anything else, then maybe you want to hold it near your solar plexus or near your heart space just to feel. What's really beautiful about this particular crystal, and of course these sold out straight away, so hopefully I'll be getting some more in the next 2 weeks. But what's really cool about these ones is these have phantons and vogels in, which means that they also have little windows that can connect with your third eye. So for those who have the sight and have the claircognizance to know when they have windows like this here, you can actually connect it with your third eye. So if you've purchased one of the amethyst ones that I had and you're wondering how best to connect with it, you can direct energy. You can direct energy when you're healing, bring intention down. Just flow with it, move with it, connect with it. Like anything else, you want to build a relationship with your crystal. That might sound a little bit out there, but it really is. It's a conscious being. And when you recognize it as conscious, it's going to have more character, more personality. The more personality you allow it to have, the more it's going to communicate with you, the more it's going to help you, the more it's going to bring in different parts of you. Amethyst, for example, it's very wonderful for the crown, for the third eye, for any part of you really, but it's known for psychic ability. Amethyst for protection, psychic protection, clearing your field and raising your vibration, many things. But once again, there are the archetypal metaphysical benefits, which you can easily Google. But then your particular crystal is going to also assist you with something very personal to you, because it's come to you for a reason. It chooses you, you know? So I'm just going to put this one down here and move on to for example, a tektite. So this is Libyan gold. So this is Libyan gold. It's triple A grade, so it's really difficult to find crystals of this highest grade. It's usually a lot more. Usually has a lot more things like sand and things like that in it, and it's not as clear, not as pure. But tektites are from the stars. They're billions of years old. And moldavite is another. You may have seen the reel that I did the other day with the 3 pieces of moldavite that I have and the heart. But these particular tektites are incredible. Of course, the colors also correspond a little bit to the chakra system that we have. So if you look at moldavite, moldavite's green. So that might be the heart space. Yes, I know there are people that look at different colors for different chakras. But if we look at where green for the past few thousand of years that's been in the heart. It's very nourishing. It's very growth and vibrancy and fertility and inspiration. Even it can connect up like fluorite. These two can connect here with your third eye. Moldavite will do the same. A lot of green crystals like to connect with the Fey realms, for example. But tektite, I have 2 pieces of this left, waiting to find their homes. And tektite, this one is very abundant. It's the color of gold. It's pricier, maybe, than some gold, some qualities of gold. But it's been utilized and worked with for thousands of years. You know, the Egyptians, you find this in some of the Egyptian breastplates and sarcophagus. But Libyan gold tektite is wonderful for abundance, for will, for drive, for your solar plexus, having that ascended solar plexus. Lots of incredible different things. But once again, to connect with it, place it on your body, listen to it, feel what it feels like to wear it or to have it in your pocket for a day or so. But of course, if you're going to use a high frequency crystal like a tektite or something that's clearer or higher in color and vibration, just be a little bit careful, because the higher the frequency, the more it's going to bring you up into your higher chakras. Whereas the more opaque, the more heavier the color or the consistency, such as shungite here, which a funny story about these, I got these to protect the house from EMF. So I put them around like the router, the Wi-Fi box, the TV. They worked so well. I put one on either side of the TV. It worked so well that it disconnected my TV from the internet and I had to move them so I could actually get onto YouTube. Oh, goodness me. But there are other, let's look at a couple of other shapes. So we've looked at points or towers. We also have pyramids. Now, pyramids have been revered, right? Pyramids have been revered by many of the ancient civilizations because they're connecting point to point to point to point on the ground. You can channel many things and it can really focus energy in. So just like how a tower can, how a point can, an obelisk, a pyramid, it's got a slightly different feel. So these are slightly higher up, of course, as it tangibly is with size. You can direct a little bit more with something like this, but I always see pyramids as generators, you see, whereas I see points and towers as anchors, as lightning rods. Then you get some of the really, really cool shapes. So of course, just to touch on a couple more really quickly, you have ones that have been maybe polished into something such as they call these worry stones, right? Because you can literally thumb it. You can just like hold it in your hand, it fits perfectly. And it's very pleasant and very soothing. But let's look at some of the other shapes. Now, of course, once again, everything that comes together, whether it's the shape, the color, the clarity, the size, the actual crystal itself, they all represent a layer. They all represent something, you know? So we could look now, for example, at these triple A grade clear quartz scarabs. Now, these scarabs, I've also attuned the Atlantean collection. I've attuned. What attuned means is it means programmed. Now, when someone is programming a crystal, of course, the ability of the channel of the programmer is going to have an impact as well. So how clear they are, their resonance, and then how it, oops, I'm dropping it, it's that high frequency. How high frequency, how clear they are and how they're able to connect with the being that is wanting to channel in. So these wonderful scarabs have been attuned to the 7 suns. So they're part of the Atlantean collection. They've been auratized in platinum and silver. So auratizing means when you have a mineral placed over the top. Kind of like when you gold plate something, this is auratized in platinum. So it's the one of the highest quality metals. Usually it's or something is auratized in titanium, which has a similar sheen, but this particular auratization, look at it. So the seraphim love to connect with it, because if you think about the colors of the angelics, the colors of the seraphim, of the fae, of the star beings, like attracts like, right? So if you have something that's very iridescent, unicorn realm going to very easily attract to it. It's very high frequency, very pure, very loving, very innocent, very joyful. But also the scarab shape, very, very lucky, linked to immortality and eternal nature, linked to abundance once again. For ancient Egyptians and Atlantean Egyptians, the scarab is very, very lucky. You go around the scarab 7 times. You touch the scarab 7 times. But something this shape or size, you could actually even place on your third eye and just rest, just meditate, breathe, and just feel without any force, without trying to do anything. Just feel what it wishes to show you. But these are incredibly lucky. These are incredibly powerful. Because once again, they've been attuned on top of their own vibration. So their own vibration is really high. Then they've got an extra attunement to connect with the 7 suns, to bring the wisdom of the 7 suns that are supporting Earth's ascension right now. What else can I show you here? I remember one of the first crystals I placed upon my third eye and meditated with was tanzanite. It was this piece of tanzanite. And I remember I was laid down in my room, and I had this rest in my third eye, and I was just breathing. And then before I knew it, I was astral traveling out of my body into space, into the stars. All my body, it felt like every single cell in my body was expanding, 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 as though there was so much space between every part of me. Just, it felt phenomenal. I can't even describe it. It was incredible to experience. It blew my mind. And, that was just through breathing for a few minutes with tanzanite upon my third eye. There was no other influence there. Tanzanite wanted to show me something. And this is the beauty about the crystals that you're working with, is they are here to work with you. There's no coincidences which crystals, and they will call to you. So when you see them on video, when you see them somewhere, they are telling you, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to come to you because I want to work with you. Sometimes we don't know what for. Sometimes it might take a little while to understand that, but they're going to be here for a little while, So let's see. Some crystals as well are very raw. So they've not been polished, they've not been shaped. Like this amethyst wand is really quite raw. This is raw. It's been polished a little at the top, but the rest of it very raw. Whereas, of course, this has been very polished, very shaped. This, for example, these pyrites with shungite. Once again, it's very heavy, very dense. It's rounded, but it's not been polished. It's still raw, right? It's just might have been shaped a little bit, or it looks like it's grown this way, actually, to be fair. But you see how this particular crystal, very, very different to this crystal, feels very different. They might both help with abundance, but this one's going to be very grounding because of its density, because of its frequency, because of its coloring, its opacity. It will tell you how it wants to work with you. These crystals are very good for bringing it into physical form, whereas some things you want to glean from the non-physical. Some crystals, like Lemurian quartz, are very good. I like for channeling that. I personally, I usually have a crystal somewhere on my heart space. If I'm working, if I'm channeling, I'll usually have a crystal helper, and it's one particular crystal that I've worked with for years, and it always just wants to go right in my heart space, and it heightens and helps with my longevity, it helps with how the stamina which I have. I once gifted a beautiful crystal necklace. It was what crystal was it? What's it called? I can't remember its name off the top of my head right now, but it was a wonderful, very earthy crystal. It's very earthy. And I once gifted it to a friend who does a lot of very intense physical activity day to day. Um, she's just very, very, like, it's like no one else I've ever met, like professional athlete. And her fatigue went away. She wore this crystal for a good few weeks. She just wore it around her neck, underneath her clothes, underneath her kit, and her and she carried on wearing it because it increased her stamina, it reduced her fatigue. So crystals can really support us in very physical ways too. Um, I think that's probably more than enough for this particular video. But if you do have any questions specific to how to work with certain crystals, please feel very welcome to ask. I mean, some people, I even have a pouch of very small crystals that want to come traveling with me. So whenever I go traveling anywhere, this pouch of crystals comes with me. And I have lots of little, very small crystals that are this size or smaller. And they're just my little travel companions. They help if I'm ever doing any spontaneous healing for someone. They also help me connect and guide me where they want to go. And they're kind of like travel companions. You know, you can make crystal grids that really have intention and hold space and create containers and vortexes. Crystals are incredible, but remember, they're not things. They are conscious beings, and they are choosing to be with you, and they will tell you when it's time to go as well. If it's time for the crystal to return to the land or to the water, it will tell you. And then it's time to let it go. Crystals work best when we're unattached to them, when we appreciate them, respect them, but are unattached to them. And that's quite an interesting place to get to, because it means that you unconditionally appreciate and love the crystal for what it is. And then you can really connect with it in that way. You can really connect with it and allow it to come through. So I hope that this has been helpful. I know it's quite a long video, so thank you so much for bearing with and for asking for how to connect with these particular things. But yes, if you've purchased one of these skulls, I think I still have maybe 6 left, and they come with a attuned citrine. So this is attuned to the Arcturians. So if you like to channel Arcturians or would love their guidance, meditating with this crystal would be very helpful. And this attuned to Serapis Bay, these skulls. But if you're working with these, you can place one here and one here, or the other way around. Just breathe, just hold them, just connect. But the first thing is just remember how to breathe. Because when you're able to breathe and relax, you're able to hear and receive and know. The crystals, they all will want to talk with you, because they're here to serve like you and co-create with you. Anyway, I'll leave it for now, but I send you all so much love. I do still have 3 Moldavites, 2 Libyan gold tektites, and 6 skull and citrine combinations. And I do still have a handful, maybe 5 or so of the lucky scarabs, which are attuned to the 7 suns. So if any of these call you, please feel very welcome to reach out. And of course, the ranges will change each time I go and acquire and become a guardian of these crystals to help them get to you. They will change which ones we'll have, because they will ask for different things each time. So if you have any requests as well, do let me know. But in the meantime, I send you so much love, so much appreciation, so much gratitude. Bye for now.